Hello and welcome to the Zul'Gurub Heroic Dungeon Guide. My name is Bruun, and in this video I'll explain the different bosses in this new instance. The first boss is Venoxis. He has 3 different abilities and 1 transformation. The first of these 3 abilities is called Toxic Link. Venoxis will create a poison link between 2 players that deals constant nature damage to them and anyone near them. To break the link, simply run away from each other, but be aware that the following explosion will also affect nearby party members. The second ability is called Whispers of Hethys, and is a challenge spell that deals high nature damage to a random person. This should be interrupted as soon as possible. The last ability is called Blood Venom. When casting this spell, Venoxis will run through his turn, and shortly after 3 beams will appear and follow people around the maze. It is crucial to avoid these beams, as they can and will kill a person in few seconds. After casting Blood Venom, Venoxis will run back down from his throne and take increased damage for 10 seconds. The maze will also disappear for a short time, but come back as soon as Venoxis wakes up. The last thing to look out for in this fight is when Venoxis changes into his animal form. He will do increased damage to the tank and spew poison that leaves several pools around the room. Touching these pools will deal high damage and should be avoided. The second boss in this instance is Bloodlord Mandrake. He is engaged in his arena along with his raptor Ogun. Mandrake has 2 abilities that can and will one-shot a person. The first of these abilities is Decapitate. Mandrake will randomly charge and kill a party member. After killing someone, he will gain a stacking 20% in damage increase. The second ability is called Devastating Slam. Mandrake will start casting Devastating Slam, and the ground in front of him will start glowing. After 3 seconds, spikes will shoot up from the ground, killing anyone in the area. If Mandrake does kill anyone with this ability, he will also gain a 20% damage increase. The key to this fight is to change spirits standing at the edge of the arena, as these will resurrect your party members up to 8 times. However, Mandrake will often send his raptor to kill these. Your job is to slow down the raptor and kill it before it reaches a spirit. If the raptor is not killed, you will lose a spirit. Also, casters should not fear being killed, because when resurrected by a spirit, you will regain full health and mana. The spirits also acts as a softened rage for this fight, because even if all the spirits are gone, Mandrake will continue one-shotting people. The last ability Mandrake has is called Bloodletting. Mandrake will cast this on random party members throughout the fight. This spell will damage people for half of their current health each second. For a healer, this will seem like incredible damage, but because there's no random damage going out in this fight, simply let the spell finish on a person, then heal them back up. It is not necessary to completely heal a person, as Mandrake will just deal that much more damage next time he casts the spell. While that is true for the DPS and the healer itself, the tank is still taking damage from Mandrake and should be healed accordingly. If possible, the tank should use a cooldown to reduce physical damage taken. The third boss is Kilnara, a Shadow Priest. This fight is very brutal on the healer, as the tank will be taking massive damage in the first phase. In the boss's room there are 16 panthers in groups of 4. These can only be pulled after engaging Kilnara, and if left alive, they will all pull when Kilnara reaches 50% health. Try not to damage Kilnara before killing all the groups. I also advise that you kill 1 panther at a time, as this will reduce the damage they do. Kilnara also has 3 spells: Wave of Agony, Tears of Blood, and Lash of Anguish. When she casts Wave of Agony, a purple wave will first be summoned, and you have 3 seconds to move away. If you do not move, you will take large damage and be knocked back. The other spell, Tears of Blood, is an AoE effect that deals damage to anyone within 7 yards of Kilnara, so all the range should keep the distance. The last spell is Lash of Anguish. She will randomly charge a player and put a magic debuff on them. This should be dispelled immediately. When Gilnara reaches 50% health, she will as mentioned call upon any remaining panthers. She will also transform into the avatar Bethek, a panther-like creature. At 20% health, she will vanish for a short while and then reappear for a final assault on your tank. Do not let this take you by surprise, as you can quickly kill a tank with a sleepy healer. The fourth boss is Sansil, a character you might remember when questing his Flangle form. Sansil will only use 2 spells, which can easily be avoided. The first of these is Sansili Fire. When he casts this, a line of purple fire will extend from Sansil in the direction he's facing. Move out of the way and you're good. The second spell is Shadow Bolt, a generic spell with a cast time and medium damage. This can be interrupted, however, it is not crucial. You will also face mechanics you should be familiar with by now, the cauldrons, fire, frost and poison. The real mechanics of this fight is dependent on the cauldrons. An emote will announce what happens and you'll have to act accordingly. If he summons NCD zombies, your tank needs to get the buff from the fire cauldron and round up the zombies. DPS should quickly AoE them down and get back in the boss. Your tank should avoid going near party members while affected by the fire cauldron. The next thing that can happen is that Sansil fills the area with poison gas. The group must then run to the green cauldron, as seconds later, a heavy damaging gas covers the area. The last thing that happens is that Sansil will summon a berserker. You must activate the frost cauldron and use this to kill the berserker. The fifth and last boss in Zul'Gurub is Jindo the Guardbreaker. In the first phase, Jindo will spawn green anti-magic shields. Your group needs to stay inside these shields at all time. The tank must position Jindo so he stands outside the shield. This part of the fight is basically moving from one shield to the next while killing the boss. At around 70% health, Jindo will run to the chained spirit of a car, and you enter phase 2. In phase 2 you enter the spirit world, where 3 chains are binding Hakar. In this phase your tank must go back down the stairs you came from, and bring a big troll back up to the group. You're not supposed to kill the troll, but you needed to break the shield on the chains. Have your healer and DPS spread around one of the shielded chains, and when someone gets marked with a purple arrow, they must walk onto the shield and wait for the troll to jump on them, breaking the shield. When the first shield is broken, you can kill the chain and move on to the next shield. After the 3 chains are killed, kill the troll. If you accidentally killed the troll, another will spawn where you found the first one. Another part of this phase is the Twisted Spirit and the Shadow Bolts that Hakar is casting. The Twisted Spirit should just be killed while waiting for the shields to be broken, and Shadow Bolts should be avoided by moving away from them. When the last shield is broken and the chain killed, Hakar will be released and the fight is over. I didn't include the Edge of Madness encounter in this guide, but a mini guide that will explain the different fights will soon be available. Thanks for watching and good luck in this new instance.